Well, I actually knew of the film before I knew of Colleen's book, which is, I know, a unique entry point, but
I really don't like this woman. I am so angered by her ability to think she can just take control and she knows better.
We had such a responsibility to this audience to deliver something and to have the opportunity to.
He was, after I gave birth, he was like, oh my gosh, if I lost you and I, went to the park with our 3 kids, think of the late.
Well, I actually knew of the film before I knew of Colleen's book, which is, I know, a unique entry point, but
she has made herself into the new Amber Heard. And now he's going full Johnny Depp on her to show that she was the bully. She was the one who
deliver something for a passionate group of people.
Yes.
As someone who is so deeply passionate myself, I was so excited about that. I would so much rather.
Tom Holland had no idea what he was walking into. A casual conversation. A friendly industry chat. Maybe even a chance to connect with Hollywood royalty. But what started as an ordinary exchange soon turned into something much darker, an unsettling realization that he was being nudged into something he wanted no part of. And at the center of it all, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. To the world, they were Hollywood's golden couple. Charismatic, sharp-witted, effortlessly likable. Ryan had built a career on his quick tongue and razor-sharp comedic timing, while Blake had seamlessly transitioned from Gossip Girl queen to a respected actress and businesswoman. But behind the scenes, not everything was as picture-perfect as it seemed. Tom, fresh off the success of Spider-Man, No Way Home, was at the peak of his career. The world adored him. Marvel couldn't.
Because I just have 1,000 children, I, have missed all of pop culture. Her significant impact in the world.
harassing him. This guy who had, comparatively very little power was forced now to come out and tell the truth about Blake Lively.
I think because I just have 1,000 children, I, have missed all of pop culture. Her significant impact in.
Get enough of him. And yet, beneath the surface, the pressure was mounting. Hollywood wasn't just about talent, it was about alliances, power plays, and knowing when to keep your mouth shut. Ryan had been Marvel's resident wisecracker long before Tom arrived. Deadpool had redefined the superhero genre, proving that audiences craved R-rated humor and self-aware antiheroes just as much as noble, clean-cut figures like Captain America. But when Tom stepped in as the MCU's new Spider-Man, things started to shift. His youthful charm and genuine, awkward sincerity captured audiences in a way that was impossible to ignore. And for the first time, Ryan found himself with a competitor he hadn't seen coming. At first, it was subtle, just small jabs in interviews, playful banter that could easily be mistaken for friendly teasing. Ryan had a habit of joking about other actors, and most people brushed it off as part of his usual persona. But to those paying close attention, the humor carried an edge. A slight tension. An unspoken rivalry brewing beneath the surface. Tom, for his part, wasn't interested in competition. He admired Ryan, had grown up watching his films, and saw him as an industry veteran. But admiration didn't mean naivety. Tom had been in Hollywood long enough to recognize when he was being sized up, when the dynamic between respect and rivalry started to shift. The first red flag came when Blake Lively entered the picture. Unlike Ryan, Blake had never been part of the Marvel machine, but she was no stranger to navigating Hollywood's power circles. She had influence, connections, and an uncanny ability to position herself exactly where she needed to be. Her career had always seemed effortless, but in reality, she was a strategist, someone who understood that perception was everything. Blake had recently faced backlash over her involvement in It Ends With Us, a film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel. The controversy stemmed from her casting. Fans of the book were vocal about the fact that Blake didn't match the protagonist's age or appearance.
Deliver something for a passionate group of people.
Yes.
As someone who is so deeply passionate myself, I was so excited about that. I would so much.
The world of books. I mean, so many of her books are on the New York Times bestseller. I mean, it's crazy.
But that was just the surface-level drama. Behind the scenes, whispers suggested she had been exerting control over the production in ways that didn't sit well with everyone involved. And then came the moment that changed everything for Tom. A conversation, casual, seemingly harmless at first. It started with compliments, a little flattery. Ryan and Blake had a way of making people feel like they were in on something special, like they were part of an exclusive circle. And for a brief moment, Tom found himself drawn in. But then, the conversation shifted. There was a project. Something perfect for him. A role that could be career-defining. They painted it as an opportunity, a move that would put him in a whole new league. But as they spoke, Tom couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. He asked questions. The details were vague. The logistics didn't quite add up. And then, the kicker, his involvement would mean stepping away from Marvel, at least temporarily. The project wasn't a direct competitor, they assured him, just something different. Something that would show a new side of him. That was when it clicked. This wasn't about helping him. It was about pulling him away. About breaking his momentum, shaking up his trajectory. And suddenly, he saw it for what it was, a calculated move, one designed to shift the balance of power in a way that benefited them far more than it did him. Tom politely declined. He framed it as a scheduling conflict, a commitment to his current projects. He kept it light, non-confrontational. But the moment he walked away from that conversation, he knew he had made the right call. The fallout was subtle but immediate. Ryan's jokes about Tom became sharper, his humor laced with something that didn't quite feel like humor anymore. Blake, normally warm and charming in public, became noticeably distant when they crossed paths. And then came the online whispers, the quiet, seemingly unconnected comments suggesting that Tom was difficult, hesitant, not as eager to collaborate as he once was. For Tom, the message was clear: he had stepped out of line. He had turned down an offer that wasn't really an offer, it was a test. A trap. And by walking away, he had marked himself as someone who wasn't willing to play the game. But here's the thing about Hollywood, no matter how carefully you craft your image, the truth has a way of surfacing. Fans started noticing the shift. They picked up on the change in tone, the barely concealed digs. The internet began piecing things together, connecting the dots between Blake's recent controversies, Ryan's sudden shift in attitude, and Tom's quiet but unmistakable decision to put distance between himself and the couple. Some dismissed it as industry politics, just another case of egos clashing behind the scenes. But others saw something deeper, an unspoken power struggle, a behind-the-scenes maneuvering that revealed just how ruthless even the most charming stars could be. Tom, for his part, didn't say much publicly. He never called them out directly, never engaged in a war of words. But actions speak louder than interviews, and his silence was telling. He kept his focus on his projects, continued working with the people he trusted, and, most importantly, didn't let himself get pulled into something he knew wasn't right. And in the end, that may be what sets him apart. In an industry where loyalty is conditional and friendships are often just strategic moves, Tom Holland made a choice. A choice to protect his career, his integrity, and his future. And if that meant making a few enemies along the way, so be it. Because in Hollywood, reputations are built on whispers. But the truth always finds a way out.